Hello, Leah here, and I am talking this morning about great books on homeschooling that have influenced my ways you could guess. Not my choice. I always knew that we were going to homeschool ever since our becoming parents, really. No idea why, actually. There was just endless reasons. I never imagined sending our children to, our first child. We didn't know we were going to have 2 children until we decided. So I never imagined school. I don't know why. I could actually talk on it all day. There are millions of reasons. So I have spoken about it, the leading factors in the previous episode 2, why we chose homeschooling, but really, to be honest, there are endless. I could talk on it for hours and hours, and that's why I'm here today. I thought I would talk about some great books that I could recommend. So I've just been listening again to the 5-hour school week, which is awesome. So it's based off the 4-hour work week by Timothy Ferris, sort of philosophy of family that did a lot of work with his Timothy Ferris's 4-hour work week principle, and so I've been listening to that this morning while doing some walking, and I thought I would just share it because who knows who might find it useful. I know I loved the 4-hour work week. It taught me a lot. I listened to it or read it when I was about 21 or so a long time ago, and it's I think it's really been a game changer in my philosophy towards life and work. Anyway, so I was the last little bit that I was on was when the family went away. They were still at school, their children were still at school, and they took a week break and had a ball out in the bush and did hiking, and came home and realised that they forgot their whole weeks of worth of homework, and so they panicked. But then the dad has realised that, well, hey, if you sit down and you are indistractable and you're focused you're completely in focus, then you can get 8 hours of work done in 1. And that's exactly what they did. They got a whole week worth of homework done in 2 hours, the school-age children. So that's really an inspiration. If you think about that, it's not surprising. Like people say, it's 1 or 2 hours. Really, 5-hour school week is not unrealistic. It's not of academic focus. If that's what you want, then you can really spend the rest of your week gung-ho developing, your dream, building on your dreams, your children's dreams, interests, passions, projects, learning, whatever you choose and want. So, often this is our inspiration as health practitioners who have our own business. My partner and I, as parents, we have that vision. We have that, we see that possibility for our own children, and it's not about, our whole life is not dedicated to making our children employable, but maybe having a different view and perspective on life. Hey, what do I want to create in the world? And so what are my dreams? So that's one of our inspirations for homeschooling, is not to just create cogs in the wheel and, children that grow up to be adults who work for other people and are employable. It's the rat race sort of vision that we're not partaking, if you will. So I thought I'd just bring up the 5-hour school week as something that I could recommend that you may find helpful. So I also have a list on inspirationatplay.wordpress.com on the website, which is also linked if you're on The social, it's on, the link is in my bio, but on the website there you'll see a resource page, and I have a long list of websites, of Facebook groups, of books, homeschooling books and articles, and a documentary, which I do plan on extending and keeping up to date as time goes on. So there's a handful of resources that I list there. So I'll throw on the 5 hour, if I haven't already got it there, the 5 hour school week there. So have a look there and let me know if you have any favourites that I can add up there or check out too that aren't already listed. And yeah, shoot through any questions. Please let me know in the feedback and the comments, wherever. Just get in touch and let me know any of your thoughts and feedback. And I'd love to have a conversation. I'm always up for a conversation around homeschooling and the how-tos and the whys and even the why-nots, because I love to have opposing views to consider. So that's, yeah, I just wanted to lead with the book recommendation as just something practical that you could check out. And yeah, just say, look, as someone who's never taken or sent her children to school, I actually don't have the negative feedback or negative stories about the school environment and atmosphere from anything other than just what we generally know about the system and my own experience, which wasn't a bad experience. I'm just saying, I'm not choosing it for my children because they're different people. Whereas the school environment for me was the best place, and for many children, I can definitely see the school environment is the best place. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that you hear so many stories about how school didn't fit a family's child or children. And even yesterday at a homeschool meet, I did hear a story from someone that I have for a long time been in touch with in the online space and finally got to meet, who said she's taken the leap. Finally, she's been in and out of school because her child was, her oldest, I believe, was just entering their first year of school at the start of the COVID lockdowns, just like our oldest as well. But we were always going to homeschool, so it didn't. Not that the lockdowns didn't affect us, being in Victoria, Australia, the longest lockdown place in the world. I just wanted to touch on that while I'm here. I saw, it's not often you see children out in the day, sadly. But yeah, I saw some children in tie-dye, which is the homeschool uniform sometimes, out in the street. And one day, and I'm like, oh, you homeschoolers. The mum said, and this is after COVID, oh, I'm not that stupid. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I don't know, maybe she didn't see my school-age child, but yeah. I've got a little one as well, obviously. She's starting school next year, but yeah, that was funny because I thought, so if your experience is just COVID homeschooling, I mean, that's homeschooling has exploded since COVID anyway. A lot of people went, wow, this is so much better, but for a lot of people it put them off. And it's like, I just wanted to mention, if that's your experience of homeschooling being, led by an authority, teacher that's been thrown into their lap, that how do they weren't prepared for that either. I'm used to teaching children, not adults, how to teach children really. So you got to consider that that lockdown schooling is very different to homeschooling. I know I'm preaching to the choir if you're a homeschooler listening, but I'm actually here to bat for homeschoolers and homeschooling for people who don't understand it. If you take inspiration from anything that I say, if you're a homeschooler, then awesome. You feel free to share this with family if they, and friends if they don't understand, whatever. I'm sure there's other great podcasts and, like I said, material and books and videos, documentaries, people you can refer friends and family to if they're concerned about your homeschooling, which I can appreciate. I know a lot of people have their doubts, especially in the early days when, children are playing the majority of the time, as they should, because that's where learning happens. But I just want to say that lockdown schooling is not how. A lot of people think homeschoolers are like, oh, why would you keep your kids at home, all alone, locked up in 4 walls? Oh, preposterous. But we don't. Homeschooling is just a word for a lack of, we need language. It serves a purpose. It lets people know, roughly what you're doing. Most learning happens at home anyway, even if you do if your children go to school. You're at home the majority of the time, even though really school takes up a heck of a lot more, of your child's conscious waking hours, because, half the time they're at home, they're actually asleep, and that's what I find really tears my heart out. Like, I couldn't do that. There's reasons people do it, I know. There's reasons for and against everything. Just saying, homeschooling is not always at home. Biggest myth is, but they need to socialise. Especially from some teachers. Even though teachers are the biggest represented profession in homeschooling. Go figure, it just kind of goes to show these people no, and they don't want that for their children. But obviously, a lot of teachers are really passionate and beautiful, will say, yes. Apparently it was World Teacher Day yesterday or the day before. My friend shared that, and even though she's a homeschooler, appreciates people who spend their lives dedicating their time to teaching people. Their heart is in the right place. I get that. Beautiful teachers, do it for the right reasons. Just like there are youth workers and social workers and prison guards, you name it, of every kind. There are beautiful people with the right heart, but there are also systems that don't work. And you're sort of, it's an uphill battle, can be. It really can be. Like, we can't deny that in every profession. But back to homeschool, just wanted to smash the myth that it's always at home and that, people assume your children are predominantly alone. That's rubbish. They're actually more out in the world and mingling with people of all ages in the real world than most often school children are. So I just wanted to, break a few myths, smash a few myths, and unpack the non-truths and share that. Tips, resources, whatever I can. Big advocate for homeschooling, obviously. I acknowledge that it's not for everybody, and there's benefits and drawbacks of everything, not claiming that there's not. So that's all for now. I'll be back soon. Be sure to jump over. Please hit follow, show your support, so we can continue on. And that's all for now. Thanks for listening.